In 1 John 4, the Apostle John is writing to the church, exhorting them to love one another. But the driving force of that love, which we find at the center of the passage, is the love of God. This is how the love of God is revealed to us. God has sent his only Son into the world so that we can live through him. This is love. It's not that we loved God, but that he loved us and sent his Son as the sacrifice that deals with our sins. And then later on, we love because God first loved us. John is saying that the motivator for our love is God's love. God's love gives us the example, and it gives us the energy for how we are to love others. For John, it seems ludicrous to be a recipient of the love of God whom we have not seen, and claim to love God in return, again, the one whom we have not seen, while failing to love, not in words but in actions and in truth, our brother and sister whom we have seen, whom we do see, those around us every day. 1 Corinthians 13 describes what love is. Probably heard this passage read at a wedding. Yet the Apostle Paul is not merely talking here about romantic love. Just like the Apostle John, he's instructing the church on what it looks like to live in love, what it looks like to love one another. It's a beautiful, poetic passage extolling the nature of love, but more than that, it is about what to do and how to be. Because for context, every characteristic that Paul gives about love is actually a direct shot at the behavior and the actions and the words of the folks that he was writing to, that he spent the first 12 chapters talking about. He's saying, do better, be better. Everything that is going on that you've just told me about is the opposite of what love looks like. And while Paul did not write that God is love, it was John, I think it pairs so beautifully with John's words so that we have this stunning glimpse into what the God who is love is like. Unlike many contemporary understandings of love, the biblical definition is not soft, it is not easy, it is not fuzzy. Love is patient. Love is kind, it isn't jealous, it doesn't brag, it isn't arrogant, it isn't rude, it doesn't seek its own advantage. It isn't irritable. It doesn't keep a record of complaints. It isn't happy with injustice, but it is happy with the truth. Love puts up with all things, trusts in all things, hopes for all things, endures all things. Love never fails. It's a description like this that led author C.S. Lewis to write, love is not affectionate feeling, but a steady wish for the loved person's ultimate good as far as it can be obtained. A steady wish for the loved person's ultimate good as far as it can be obtained. And Maya Angelou wrote, love recognizes no barriers. It jumps hurdles, it leaps fences, it penetrates walls to arrive at its destination full of hope. And to me, that is such a beautiful description of the God who is love, of the God revealed in Jesus, the one who loved us so much that nothing could stand in the way of God's plan to be reconciled and reunited with us so that we might live through him. We are so deeply loved by the Creator of the universe. You are so deeply loved. Jesus came to show that.